Kyiv, Ukraine. In 1912, my great-grandfather Jacob Estrin said goodbye to his family in Ukraine, landed at Ellis Island, and 8 days later, the Titanic sank. The family legend is that his mother thought he had been on board, and died of heartbreak before his first letter could reach home. "110 years later, I board a rickety elevator in a Kyiv apartment building to visit the family that my father's father's father left behind. Our family, separated and reunited through decades of wars, now unexpectedly straddles a new conflict in Ukraine. Your hair turned gray over these 10 years. I remember a boy without gray hair, Lusia Kuznetsova, 81, teases me in Russian. I had been here just once before, in 2011. Lusia's mother, Fanya Estrin, was my great-grandfather Jacob's youngest sister, which makes Lusia my grandfather's first cousin. Lusia's son, Sergey Kuznetsov, a 45-year-old photo editor at a Ukrainian magazine, is here too. He offers me slippers and leads me into his mother's living room, to a table set with homemade sauerkraut and cherry varenyky. Is your grandfather still alive? Lusia asks. I tell her Grandpa Paul is 101 years old and still lives in Minneapolis, where his father Jacob had moved from Ukraine. Lusia's modest 1970s Kyiv apartment hasn't changed much since Soviet times. The old wallpaper remains. In the foyer, a vintage Soviet refrigerator stores her shoes. She and my family share a particular gene: we throw away nothing. She opens a cabinet and takes out the old Soviet photo ID of my great-great-grandfather David Estrin, born in 1863. Under the beard, he looks like my father. Sergey lifts the top of the sofa and pulls out a down comforter. The feathers inside were plucked by my great-great-grandfather from his own geese. The fabric was shipped here from Minneapolis by his son Jacob around a century ago. I squeeze the soft bedding, touching what they touched. My great-grandfather Jacob and his siblings were raised in a one-room home with no floor in Verbychi, a village near Chernihiv, north of Kyiv.